What is going on, cast and crew? Welcome back to Tyler's Theater. So, I just got out of the movie theater and I went to see Karate Kid. Nope. Definitely not. Almost there. Yes. Karate Kid Legends. So, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This was an odd movie. I'm going to give this movie a 2 out of 10. I did not enjoy this movie at all. It was very weird. And it's kind of weird because going into a Karate Kid movie, I feel like the expectations are really low. I feel like you're mostly expecting to see the old sensei and the young student and just a couple of cool fight sequences, some cool martial arts here and there, some spin kicks. But as far as like story goes, you're really not expecting much. So the way I walked out of this movie, I felt very weird. And this movie is very short. It seems like a lot of movies these days are really long, but within the time frame that this movie had, it was just straight up kind of boring. Nothing really happened. Now, to start with some of the positive things, fortunately, some of the cast that's in this movie, many of you have seen the trailer, so you already kind of know who's in it. They are very likable people. I have nothing against the cast. Yeah, of course, you're not getting A-list actors. I feel like the humor in this movie overall just kind of failed. A lot of us have seen the original Karate Kid, especially 1 and 2, and those movies completely speak for themselves. They are great films. And then from there, obviously, they kind of dip down a little bit. Now, I know that I am in the minority here. I actually enjoy the Jackie Chan and Will Smith Karate Kid. Will Smith's Kid. A lot of people do not like that movie. And I honestly don't understand why. I thought that movie had some good humor, had some really strong emotion, had some great relationships between characters, good acting, especially by Jaden Smith, and some really cool fight scenes. So I actually really did enjoy that Karate Kid. Now, I think anyone or most people are going to agree with me that Karate Kid Legends is way worse than the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, if people already hate that movie. But just to kind of sum up this movie, it is a little bit different. So one good thing was I did appreciate the creativeness that they tried to add to this Karate Kid. They tried to make it a little bit different when it came to storyline. We were always used to the American kid coming over to China and getting bullied and learning how to fight from the wise master. And it helped grow the kid into a confident person, someone who understood balance and respect. For in this one, it's a little bit different, where the kid is actually moving from China to New York. And he actually already knows martial arts. I believe it's Kung Fu in this movie. And as he's moving to the United States, he meets a couple characters. Of course, there's a girl that he has a crush on, but he gains a great friendship between the girl's father, who was an ex-boxer, and he learns that this kid basically knows how to fight, and he wants to learn how to fight just like this kid. Now, mind you, he is a full-on dad. He's probably middle-aged, and he literally looks at the kid and he's like, I want to learn your flexibility and I want to learn how to be quick and fast, which is great. I've seen people in older years who are very flexible, are very agile, but for the most part, the modern day person at that type of age is not going to be able to be as quick as a younger person who already knows how to fight in a martial arts style. Now, for example, I used to be a gymnast. I don't compete anymore, but I still try to keep up with a lot of my skills. And when it comes to things like flexibility, I use flexibility for an example. Flexibility isn't really something that's taught. You can't really learn it. Flexibility is something that you start doing at a very young age, and the more consistent you are with it and the more you do it and practice being flexible, the more your body is flexible. And the minute you stop, your body becomes very stiff, your joints don't have as much motion. Now, this man who was a boxer strikes me as the guy who stopped fighting, and he goes through I'll call it the Creed training sequence, where he is training with the Karate Kid to become a better fighter because he wants to get back into boxing. And in regards to his business, he has to join a boxing fight. Now, here we are talking about Karate Kid and we're talking about boxing. Yes, they're both fighting and yes, they're great styles to learn, but they are completely different. And in this scenario, a boxer trying to inhabit a martial arts style it's possible, but it's just not likely. A couple of things happen in the boxing round. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but if you fast forward a little bit, the story completely changes. So you go from this man who is a boxer and Karate Kid is a mentor. Then it goes straight back to the main kid. The girl that he's into, of course, has an ex-boyfriend who also knows martial arts. And if you've seen Karate Kid, you kind of know where this is going. But the main kid is specialized in Kung Fu and he has to learn karate. And so here we bring in the original Karate Kid and, of course, Jackie Chan as the sensei. From here, they basically train this kid karate, and the ending is he goes up against the bully and he, beats him in the match, and it ends right there. So this movie was just nostalgia bait. Anyone who's seen the original Karate Kids or anyone who loves the Karate Kid movies are going to see the original cast. And the two Karate Kid movies kind of teaming up in a multiverse type thing. It's the Karate Kid multiverse, I guess. We get a training sequence, which they teach this kid, mind you, karate in 1 week. 1 week! I don't understand why people think that they can just learn a type of art form or a style and learn it fast. These things take years of time to master. As far as the characters, Ming Na Wen is in this movie and she is the mother. And she really didn't have a huge role in this. I was kind of bummed that they didn't give her a huge role. We all know that she can act and she's very talented. The main kid, Lee, is struggling with a death that he went through in his family, and that's kind of his main struggle throughout this movie, and his character development starts to build in that particular state of depression that he's going through as he's training in karate. But one thing about this movie is just it was so rushed. Like literally watching this kid just train karate in a week was the tone of the movie. Like it was just really fast. For me, that was just my biggest problem with this movie. Like I said, you have Jackie Chan and you have Ralph, and they're very likable people. I had nothing against the cast. The fight sequences were okay. I've definitely seen better in other martial art movies. But yeah, that's basically it for this movie. I'm going to be honest, I don't recommend this movie at all. But, if you want to see this movie, I encourage everyone to go to the theater and watch film and be intrigued by a type of story. Maybe you'll get something out of it that I didn't. But anyway, guys, that's a wrap on this video. If you haven't already, make sure you like and comment on this video, and of course subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, your family. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video.